Your phone, these apps, these notifications were designed by these billion-dollar companies to steal your attention. And most guys, they just let it happen. But today I'm going to show you how to get your focus back. First, you need to turn off all notifications by default. It's the concept of least privileges. Essentially, by default, you turn off every single notification. And what you do after having this on for a while is if it's really important, then you can add those little things back. I recommend that you go to the extreme end of this, because even something like text messages or phone calls, a lot of the time it'll just be like spam calls, like things that really aren't worth your attention. And if people are texting you, most of the time it's not that urgent. What you can do is whitelist essentially the important people in your life. So if it's family or like really important friends, they can call you, but you don't get the text message notifications. Why this is super important is because a lot of the time, when you're getting these messages, it's not that urgent. You could just go and like read those messages later on and it's not going to be a big issue. If it is really important, if it is emergency, those people can call you and, get your attention. The reason this is so important, again, is because even the smallest little ding that you hear on your phone, the split second that takes away from your attention, there's been studies that prove this, it decreases the amount of productivity and focus that you have. And especially for those important things, whether you're working on your business or you're reading, the focus that takes away from you is just, it's too big of a risk to, leave to chance. So turn off all of your notifications. Again, if it's super important, you can add those little things back, but by default, you should turn off all the notifications on every single device that you have, whether it's your phone, iPad, on your laptop, whatever the case may be. Next is that you want to wake up early. This isn't for everyone, but I found that it works for me, at least. When I wake up earlier, the level of productivity that I have and the amount of distraction that I get is so much less, because in the morning, nobody else is awake. And with this time, there's pretty much nothing else to do. Like a lot of things aren't open, like locations or whatever. Pretty much the only thing you can do is work and be productive and do those type of like activities. And the benefit that you get as well is that when you wake up early in the morning, you have the most amount of energy. Like you haven't gone through the day. There aren't demands on your time. You have the most amount of energy that you're ever going to have generally. And you're just way less prone to be distracted. If you've ever tried this, if you've just woke up early in the morning by accident, or, you've just tried this, like, you hear people say, oh yeah, really productive people, you got to wake up at 6 a.m. or earlier. I mean, there is truth to that. The amount of productivity that you can get in the amount of focus that you have, it's a lot bigger and a lot better than a lot of people imagine. So what I suggest, if there's some really important work that you have to do, just wake up a little bit early in the morning before you have all these responsibilities, before people are up and, demanding your attention, calling you or whatever. This is the best period of time that you're going to have the most amount of focus. You're way less likely to, just scroll on, TikTok or just like play some video games, because you have the most amount of energy generally first thing when you wake up in the morning. The last thing I suggest is that you plan in advance. This is one of the biggest things that's helped me. Essentially, when I'm just trying to do things as the ideas pop up into my head, it's harder to do that work. But if I plan the day before, like, okay, this is something that I want to do, this is another thing that I want to do, and I pretty much have an agenda before I wake up and I can like sleep on it, it gives your brain the chance to not only, like, when you sleep on an idea, the details, like your subconscious mind is able to, hash out the details and make things clearer, but the likelihood that you actually end up doing it just shoots through the roof as well. I've tested this for myself. The level of my productivity has, again, just gone through the roof, and my ability to actually follow through with the things that I said I should do or told myself I should do is just gone through the roof when the day before or, just previously I decided to write down, okay, this is something I want to do, this is another thing I want to do, blah, blah, blah. Write it down. It allows you to focus a lot better and get more things done. And you can imagine, like, say one of the things you're trying to focus on is, okay, I want to work on my business. If you get the idea of, okay, I want to work on my business, and you try to get yourself to do it right then and there, there's going to be a little bit more friction because, it's the middle of the day. You know, there's some other things that you could do that may be more enjoyable and whatnot. But if you plan it out in advance, like you're mentally already prepared, like, yeah, I said I'm going to do this. You're pretty much stacking the odds of your compliance to be able to go out and do that. That's the big thing about this. You want to just improve the probabilities that you end up complying and actually go out and do the thing that you were trying to focus on. Again, you're not going to be perfect, especially in the beginning. You know, it's going to be hard to wake up early, especially if that's just not something you're used to. Planning things in advance, you know, maybe you can do it for a little while, but then, you know, you end up just forgetting or whatever. Generally, though, I found that this is the easiest thing you can do to improve the quality of your focus and just be able to get a lot more things done. We all know this. If you don't have the ability to focus, you're not going to get ahead. You're just going to be like everybody else, going to be average, live the average life, or worse. So it's really important that you take this, you know, stuff into account. Learn how to focus, learn how to get yourself to actually follow through, do the things that you need to do so you can have the success that you want in your life. Since you've watched this far in the video, I'm sure you would be a good fit to join our Brotherhood. It's the first link in the description. It's a group of community of young guys who are just dedicated to improving the quality of their lives. So if that's something you're interested in being a part of, again, first link in the description. Anyways, I hope you got some value from this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe. Peace out.